Hello, bonsoir, my name is Mark, aka Mindale, and in this video I'm going to be doing an unboxing of a Gamebuino handheld console. Now, you may be asking, what is a Gamebuino? Well, a Gamebuino is a handheld console made by a guy in France called Rodot, and it's based on the Arduino boards. Now, if you don't know what an Arduino board is, this here is an Arduino. It's a little board, very easy to program, a lot of input-output pins, very versatile. They come in a whole lot of different form factors. This is a Uno, which is a very common one that people use, standard USB cable connection there. They also come in smaller versions. This one plugs directly into a USB port. This is a Mega Mini, which is a larger version, again with a USB port, a lot more capability. You can also make these things yourselves. Here's one that I made a little bit earlier using a homemade or home fabricated PCB. So a lot of different ways you can make them. A lot of different versions. This one here can talk to USB devices, and you can stack these things together to make web servers out of them. Lots of versatility. Well, what we're looking at today is a version of an Arduino that has been turned into a handheld console, and like I said, Rodot has sent me one. I was giving him a little bit of a hand with the bootloader for it, and he has sent me a prototype version. So I'm going to open that now and have a look at what he sent me. Now, I know this isn't going to be the final version that he's is shipping out to everybody. This is, by the way, this is a campaign on Indiegogo. Whole bunch of people have, it's sort of, Indiegogo, if you don't know what that is, it's sort of similar to Kickstarter. So he jumped on that and had a whole bunch of people pledge to get this thing made and turned into a production unit. That has easily passed its funding goal, I think in about, what was it, 5 or 6 days or something. So it is going to get made. And he sent me an early prototype version. Now, this one here doesn't have the acrylic case. It's just the PCB. He did give me the option and said, okay, well, do you want me to just send it the way it is, or do you want to wait until it's until you have the acrylic case to go with it? And of course, I'm very impatient. I wanted to get my hands on the thing, so let's open it up and see what we got. Okay, so open here. I'm very surprised. I'm in Australia, which you can probably tell from the accent, and I'm very surprised that Customs haven't opened this and had a look at it themselves. And here, oh, there is actually a back case on it. Okay, I was not expecting this. So here we go. Okay, that's the initial look. So it looks very similar to the photos that I've seen online, but he has put a back plate on it for me. So let's have a look here. Okay, now, oh, and he has put a battery in. Oh, hello. What's this on the back here? Oh, he's left me a few messages. Oh, this is a custom Gamebuino. What a lovely thing to do. What is it? Peel me off. Oh, okay, so that's actually just a piece of cardboard that he's stuck to the acrylic. That's very nice. Mindale's bootloader. Thank you for your awesomeness. Sorry for the ugliness of this prototype. This is beautiful. How can you say this? This is a beautiful... It actually is a lot smaller. I was preparing myself for how small it is, but it's really tiny. To give you an example, here's a Mikey card, which is exactly the same size as a credit card. That is smaller than a credit. It's very slightly wider by about 1 millimeter or 2. But it looks absolutely adorable. It feels solid in the hand as well, and I'm guessing that's probably the battery. Okay, so he's put the what is it, the I2C port connectors on for me. I am noticing on the one that he sent me, the in-serial circuit programmer port is missing. I'll have to put that on myself because obviously I do a lot of work with the bootloader. So I'm probably moving it around a lot here. I'll just hold it steady so that you can just have a look at it there. This is not the final buttons. He has been telling everybody that he's been doing an update over the past day or two where he's going to be putting color buttons on, or color caps on these buttons, and the buttons that he used on those updates are a little bit different. They sort of have a little bit jutting out that holds that cap. So that will be nice. And they will obviously be jutting out. Now, obviously, the final production version is going to have another plate on the top. This is sending me a plate on the back. That was a really nice touch. Although he has said that he is now potentially planning to drill holes. And it looks like he's actually cut the letters out of this Gamebuino on... Oh, very interesting. Okay. So, and let me see if it turns on. I haven't... Okay, so there is a switch down here. Oh, look at that. It's charged and everything. Thank you, Rodot. That is absolutely fantastic start. Oh, well, there you go. Yep. Fantastic. Yep, there you go. I fired up straight away. It's really smooth. I was really worried about the frame rate issues, whether there'd be a lot of flicker in... Because when you look at the YouTube videos, you can't really tell whether or not you're seeing flicker on the LCD screen. And I'm really not seeing any flicker at all. It looks really good. It feels good in the hand. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to have lots of fun with this. Yeah, volume's pretty loud. It's reasonable. Yeah, so, okay. Fantastic. It's a great little device. Seems to be working fine. It's obviously held its charge during transport, so fantastic. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. Now, one of the things I did notice from the photos is that he's put the A button down here and the B button down here. Now, for those of you who are used to the Nintendo way of doing things, that's actually the reverse of what you may be used to. Let me just give you an example here. Here I've got an original Game Boy Color, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but for those of you that remember, the A button's actually at the top right, and the B button, that's sort of the primary button is A, and the B button's down at the bottom left, and that obviously was duplicated in other later models like the Game Boy Advance, which was A and B, and even when they switched over to the let's see, we've got a fatty here and a 3DS. Even when they switched over and had the A, B, X, Y sort of format, we still had the A button in the top right and the B button in the bottom left. And when I first saw the photos, I was wondering, okay, maybe, you know, he seems to have obviously swapped it around, but not really. This is, let me see, I'm falling out of focus here, but this way of doing things, the Nintendo way of doing things was really, it's quite a Japanese way of doing things. If to use an example, if you look at the American way of doing things, they actually, this is a 360 controller, of course. We've got the A button down the bottom and the B button at the top right. So the American way of doing, they swapped things around and did it the complete opposite. And anyone who's ever developed for the Sony hardware, which I did for many years, PlayStation Portable is a really good example. Now, if you've ever done development for this platform, you will know that the versions that you released to Japan and the versions that you released to Western countries were completely opposite. Japan titles, the circle was the primary button, X was cancel, whereas in Western versions, X was considered the primary. It just seemed more intuitive to Western players that bottom one was the primary button, and the circle was sort of the secondary cancel one. So Rodot's very much stuck to the Western way of doing things by keeping, let me just see if I can get this in focus here, but there you go. So he's very much done things the Western way by keeping the A button and the B button. Maybe this is something to add to the users page for the benefit of the Japanese fans of Gamebuino, where maybe they can swap the buttons around. I don't know. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, and here we have a Dreamcast controller. Dreamcast, of course, was Sega, and Sega being a Japanese company, and of course, A button down here, B button down here. So it really seems to be quite random who chose what in terms of the orientation for that. This is actually Dreamcast is a pretty good comparison, I think, to Gamebuino, because Dreamcast had the VMU. Now, the VMU and the processing power was sort of in the same ballpark. Just to give a comparison, the Dreamcast, I think, was 48 by 32 pixels. Gamebuino, 84 by 48, so about 2.5 times as many pixels. The clock speed of the VMU was 6 megahertz. Gamebuino was about 16, again 2.5. So it seems like Rodot's really, I know there's been a bit of criticism, oh, he should have used a color display, higher resolution, whatever, but I think based on existing commercial models, I think he's actually picked something that's pretty much on par with what the commercial models used in terms of that balance between processing power and display capability. All of the battery power, Gamebuino wins hands down. Dreamcast had a couple of C-cell batteries. You got about an hour of gameplay out of those, and then you had to replace them. Gamebuino, at least 24 hours, and it's rechargeable. So Gamebuino wins hand down. There's a couple of differences. Dreamcast had more flash memory. I think it had 128 kilobytes. Gamebuino has only 32 kilobytes, but it has an SD card right here. And of course, that just extends your capability up to about 2 gigabytes. So, I mean, it just totally blows Dreamcast VMU out of the water in that respect. In terms of RAM, again, I think you're roughly in the ballpark, maybe about 4 times as much RAM. So, I think compared to commercial units that came out sort of around the 10-15 year mark ago, where Gamebuino is kind of targeting that retro sort of time, it seems to be a really good balance. Obviously, I'm still playing around with it. A lot of other people are just starting to get their heads around what it can do right now. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be a great little device, and I'm certainly looking forward to what myself and other people are able to push it to do. So thank you, Rodot, for putting this together. Myself and many other people around the world are looking forward to playing with it. I don't want to peel this off now. Peel me off, as though I'm going to do that. I don't think so. No, I'm going to cherish this one. I've got another one. I bought one on the Indiegogo campaign so that I can do multiplayer development. So this one will be used for development, and it will be a nice little keepsake on my part. Thanks again, Rodot. Thank you for watching. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And till next time, bye-bye.